Howdy everybody, what's up? My name is Sabina, I'm the Left-Handed Alchemist, and welcome to my channel. This is episode 4 of Fix It and Finish It or Fire It. I'm actually just in the last couple days decided that we're going to change it to Fix It or Finish It Friday because I will be uploading these videos on Friday and I don't actually have that much stuff to scrap. It's about one video worth, and I just feel like Fix It or Finish It Friday rolls off the tongue better. So that's what this is now. Fix It or Finish It Friday. Today we are going to pivot a little bit. 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today, I had an accident in my studio where it involved me setting some gems for a collection of rings that I was trying to finish a little too quickly. And my bezel pusher slipped and my fingernail got caught and came off backwards. You see, underneath this bandage right here, there is no fingernail. It's gone. It is freaking gone, you guys. I actually still have it. I will keep it. I'm a little goblin, a little weirdo like that. But alas, I had to take a couple weeks off from making jewelry, which affected this series. I'm trying to work ahead a little bit, get some projects done so that I can post and stay regular while I'm on vacation later this year and over the holidays. You know, it's a crazy time for us makers. And so I'm working ahead a little bit. I have, for the next 2 weeks, we will be doing not jewelry related projects. I have a bunch of things that I do. I'm just like a jack of all trades kind of girl. Like, metal is my bread and butter. It is what I have chosen to make my main job, you see. But I knit, I crochet, I sew, I paint, I draw. And so I have projects scattered all throughout my life in all kinds of different mediums. And for the next 2 weeks, I am focusing on finishing boxes that I started painting so that they may hold your precious items and your precious little trinkets. This week, we have a box that I started, I don't even know when, maybe 2022, maybe 2023. Definitely, like, at the absolute latest, I started this box in the early part of 2023, but it really, if my memory does serve me correctly, I started this box in 2022, and it just kind of went to the wayside. I kind of lost the itch for painting there for a minute. I didn't have exactly like a setup for it, and I wasn't really willing to figure it out at the time. And with my injury, it had forced me to not make jewelry. Like, my left hand is my dominant hand. I couldn't put any pressure on my finger at all. So any kind of fabrication, it just like wasn't gonna be something that I should do. So I took the time that I needed to rest. It took about a week for the pain to stop, and it took about another week for the fingernail to finally be long enough that I could cut it off. And now it's bandaged and it's ready to work. So after the next 2 weeks, I'm getting right back into things. We'll be back to the jewelry content as scheduled. But in the meantime, enjoy the process of me painting and finishing this wooden cigar box and transforming it into something that gets to hold your sacred little trinkets. So I'll quit yapping for now. At the end of the video, the outro of this video will be more of like a life update, what I've learned in the last 2 weeks of slowing down and the lessons that I've learned. Really stick around for that. But without further ado, here is episode 4 of Fix It, Finish It Friday. Welcome to episode 4 of Fix It or Finish It Friday, a series where I go through my projects that I've already started and kind of abandoned, and I decide if I'm going to fix it or finish them, and then post the video about it on Friday. This week, we're pivoting a little bit from jewelry, and we are working on a cigar box that you can put your magic little trinkets in. Here you can see kind of what I got started. I started this box in 2022 and left it until now. I give all the wood surface a good sand to give it some tooth, and then give it a good coat of white paint. And from there, I just add little details one bit at a time. The green on the cover of this is what I painted a couple of years ago, but I just felt like it needed a little warmth. So I added some yellow gold sun rays around it and gave the blue a little facelift. Been a big fan of cerulean blue lately, so I had to incorporate that. I do all of my detail work with Posca paint pens. I'm sure if you're a painter, you know them. They're great. 10 out of 10 will draw on any surface. The only thing is they are water soluble. So you do have to seal anything you're painting with some kind of lacquer, or you could potentially rub the paint off. Just like the illustrative effect that they can give a painting, and it blends well with my personal style. really just makes the whole thing pop, in my opinion. A little hackaroony for those of you who are also acrylic painters is have a hairdryer on hand to speed up the drying process between layers of painting. I decided to keep the inside of this box fairly simple. I didn't want to do a ring box or anything that needed a lot more material or time requirement. It's kind of an open box that you can keep whatever you want in it. Once I was done with the actual painting process, it was now the cleaning and finishing process. So I sand all the paint off the edges, and I decided that after I was done sealing the entire box with this clear lacquer, I was going to go in on the wooden surfaces and give it a good Danish oil finish. Before I do that, I want to finish the bottom. Oftentimes I will paint the bottom, but for this box, I had a sticker that would not come off. And so I decided to hot glue some felt to the bottom to be scratch resistant for whatever surface you put it on and just give it like an overall clean look. I did end up trimming that more after I filmed that clip, by the way. Once the bottom was done and everything was sealed, I reattached the hardware. This just makes sure that the box stays closed and came with the original cigar box, so I wanted to return it to its full glory. Now we are in our final steps, the Danish oil. It just gives the wood itself a seal, and it really just like enhances the natural finish of what it looks like. And you'll see in a minute when I open the box. But yeah, there it is in its full final glory. I think she looks really beautiful and came out really well. And I'm really happy with the overall product. So if you would like to make this box your own, you can now find it on my website and find that link through my Instagram. And at the very least, give us a follow so that you can see our later installments of Fix It or Finish It Friday. Next week is going to be another painted box, but after that, we'll get back to the jewelry content. As I'm recording this voiceover, my finger has healed. For those of you who don't know, I ripped my fingernail off, and so that's why we're painting this week. Thanks for watching. Bye. Alrighty, everybody, that was the video. That was Fix It, Finish It Friday, episode 4. I hope you enjoyed that. I really loved making this box and painting this box, and I loved it so much I did another one. And that is going to be a complete start to finish box painting experience for you guys that isn't really like congruent with Fix It, Finish It Friday because the box was never really started, but alas, I was trying to get creative with my bum finger, keep my creative energy flowing and have a good time. So we're gonna do this again next week. If you're interested in purchasing this box, it is available. I have it on my website now. I am attempting to list anything that is featured in these videos like the day that these videos go live. So if you see it and you fall in love with it and you want to make it yours to hold your special little trinkets and all your little things, it's there, it's ready for you. It would make a great Christmas gift or a Hanukkah gift or just for yourself, like buying yourself a magic little box to keep your magic little items in is really fun and cool. That's there for you. I want to talk about the lessons that I've learned. I want to talk about the lessons that I've learned through having to slow down a little bit and just the reality that I had been telling myself for months that when I move to Colorado, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to focus on friends, fun, and fitness. And then I hit the ground running, get the studio set up, and I just like plow full steam ahead into making art and wanting my shop updates to sell out and wanting everything to like be perfect and have this super blooming, amazing business and being really stressed, honestly, like overworking myself and stressing myself out for no reason, like at all. Sure, like making money is cool, but what I have found for myself is that the more I zip around, the more I spin around, the more I tell myself that I need to work harder and like hustle more, it has not, in my experience, correlated more income, especially with the direction that I am currently trying to head in. It just hasn't equaled that. In the last couple months, I've been reminding myself to slow down and value like my external life outside of this room, and my income has increased and it's been like a great fun time. I think that I got kind of caught up in the whirlwind of needing to hustle again because since 2018, every Christmas season, I have gone full tilt holiday sales mode because I could. I lived in a place where holiday sales start from the beginning of November to the end of December, and you can be busy every single weekend selling your art every single weekend. And that's how I made my money for years until COVID. And then even after COVID, when the world opened back up again, I was back at it, telling myself I didn't want to do this anymore, but then actively making the decision to continue doing it and stressing myself out because I just didn't want to get a real job. Like, I just didn't want to get supplemental income to help myself out at all. Or I did, but I didn't get enough separation from the craft to allow my nervous system to truly like calm down. And so for this year, I've been trying to tell myself, hey girl, you don't have to do the holiday crazy stuff anymore. Like, I have a lot of inventory on hand. The pendant challenge was a big push to like make some inventory to give away as gifts, as well as for like you guys to give as gifts. And just have some things on hand that if you need some one-of-a-kind handcrafted magical jewelry, I have it available for you, but there's no pressure. I'm in the process of working on getting some supplemental income. My husband helps me a lot. We currently live at his parents' house. Like, I'm in a situation where I don't have to worry about how am I going to pay my bills. So I don't have to go into psycho holiday mode, but I found myself doing it. I found myself going into psycho holiday mode, making a bunch of rings for a collection that will be cool. Like, I can't wait to release it to you guys in a couple weeks. I think it's going to be episode 7 of this series, is finishing these rings, and I'm excited for you to see them, and I think they're going to be really cool, and the people who buy them will hopefully love them and cherish them. But ultimately, the energy that I was putting behind them was very much pressured. It was very much rushed. And as a result, I literally broke my fingernail off. And it was like, you're going to take a break. You're going to rest. And as a result, I've had 2 weeks to just kind of sit back and incubate. And have I spent most days in here painting and doing other things? Yes. But the energy behind it has been much more in flow and in tune with what I value as a person. And that has felt incredible. I've had enough space to remind myself, hey, I don't have to have every piece of my fix it, finish it pile finished for the holidays. Actually, if I go a little slower, I have more content to release and I can make higher quality videos for you guys for a longer amount of time. Hey, that sounds really cool. I've been able to schedule stuff out. I have the rest of the year planned. That's cool. I never do that. I always say I want to do that. I always want to like be able to plan my collections and plan videos out longer, but then I get overwhelmed because I'm overworking myself to actually be able to put the time in to make these higher quality videos for you guys. And now I've figured out a little bit of something to hopefully make that happen. That's really exciting for me. And like, this was really inconvenient and annoying to begin with, but now I'm kind of understanding it as a blessing in disguise because I've had time to get some space and rethink how I want to approach my jewelry and my craft, and understand that I, in a lot of ways, already live my dream life. And I'm so grateful and privileged to be in this position. But there's a couple of things about my dream life that involve being well-rounded, which involves having a strong community and being physically fit and just like being aware of my body and how it takes up space and how it feels more so. These external things like finding a knitting circle, finding a book club, finding a group of girls that I can be friends with. And when I'm only spending time in here hustling and stressing out about whatever the fuck, I'm not giving myself the space to do that. And I think that that's also a lesson that I've been learning with having to take some time to take a step back, is like, I actually have time to take an hour to go to the city library to check it out. I actually have 45 minutes to run down the road to go check out that gym. Got a gym membership today. Whoop, whoop. Just like little things where it's like, it became such a hurdle in my head to do these things because I don't have time. I gotta go work. I gotta go hustle. I gotta edit. I gotta film. I gotta make jewelry. I gotta work on the next symbols line because people are expecting letters by Christmas. I mentioned that. It's not gonna happen, you guys. I'm not gonna get the letters done by Christmas. Sorry. Once I took that off my plate, my nervous system went, relaxed. Maybe I might get a wild hair and bang out 27 pendants, but that's a lot of pendants. And the font that I originally chose, it's not working out the way I wanted it to. And so I'm tabling the project so that I can do it eventually later in a way that feels very like good and fulfilling. And working on these pieces that I've already started for this series has been feeling good. It's been feeling exciting. It's exactly what I want to be doing, and forcing myself to go above and beyond to keep a brand alive. Like that, it's just been this like tension of business and LLC and brand story and customers and target audience and social media marketing and like all of this stuff that doesn't come naturally to me, then like weighed up against the art and the fun and the creation and the doing things that I want to do. There's been this solid wall between the two where I like have been telling myself this story, like, I hate social media, I'm so bad at it, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I'm so bad at it, like kind of reinforcing that story. But honestly, because I've been using ChatGPT to help me with my social media plan, everything has been significantly easier. It's actually, I was way overthinking it. And so the name of the game the last few months has been ease. Like, how can I step into ease? I really reject the idea that the only way to live a valuable life is to struggle and to work super hard. In some areas of life, the work that you put in ends up making the end product better and more rewarding. So there is a time and a place to work hard and to like value work, but there's also a lot of people who don't accept ease because they think that it makes them weak or soft. But in reality, like if making some areas of your life a little bit easier makes the whole thing work better, I think that it's time to like reacquaint yourself with a new story about what ease has to mean. Figuring out how to post something on social media with the content that I already have, because I've been a fiend about capturing a lot of video and content with what I do. Realizing it doesn't have to be as complicated as I thought made it all a lot easier for me, which then in turn makes the wall between social media and the marketing and the business side and like the actual art and the time creating side, it makes that wall a lot easier to like jump over. And in fact, I feel like over time the wall will disappear. It makes showing up to make these finish it, fix it Friday videos more fun because it's what I want to be doing. And I recognize that each video will be different. Each video will get better. And a year from now, who knows what kind of videos we'll be creating? Who knows what kind of camera I'll be shooting on? Who knows what kind of space I'll have? Who knows where we'll be in a year? But what I do know is that if I don't continue to show up and try, even when it's a little hard, I'll be disappointed in myself. So what I have to do is figure out, okay, where am I overcomplicating this? And how can I uncomplicate this? How can I make this just a little bit easier so that when I show up to actually do this thing that's like kind of hard and new and like a little awkward for me, it won't feel so dysregulating and so uncomfortable and so like impossible to like hurdle over this wall, this imaginary wall. It feels like it's kind of getting smaller and smaller every time I show up and do this. And having a couple of weeks to decompress and remind myself like, hey girl, yeah, the holidays are here. Sure. Like, hi, I have a lot of symbols. The symbols collection is out. If you want a symbols necklace, you have to order by November 18th. But other than that, I have a lot of ready to ship stuff, like that kind of thing. Like if you want to buy something for the holidays, hey girl, I got stuff for you. I got a whole shop of stuff ready to ship. It can be to your house by Christmas. Heck, if you order it soon, it can be there before Christmas. But I don't have to fill a booth with my jewelry anymore. I don't have to figure out how to make ends meet like I did 5 years ago. And I'm very thankful for that. And I think that my neural pathways and my nervous system got really like wound up about that and has been wound up about that. And so in some ways, all of this kind of falling apart has felt like a tower moment for me. It has felt like a reset for me. It has been an interesting way to experience life. It's just like nervous system reset stuff. I've been releasing a lot of mother wound stuff that I can talk about in another video, and releasing things from my body that because I was spending so much time working and obsessing over working, I wasn't feeling. Like, I think that work is my main drug of choice. It is how I avoid life. It is how I avoid dealing with the things that I need to deal with. And so I had a couple weeks where I got to deal with those things. Like, even though I was painting, even though I was doing something for work, it was slower. At the end of the day, if this box never sells, it'll just be like a beautiful thing that I have in my possession, and the time that I spent making it gave me a lot of time to like sit with myself and learn about myself and just be quiet and not really obsessing over my brand and my social media following and how am I going to make money and how am I going to sell this. It's like, I gotta chill the fuck out, you know? Those are some of the lessons that I learned. I'm trying not to be too long-winded with this. I will post a longer vlog style video. Like, I have some philosophy content that I really want to post and share, but I am experimenting with scripting my posts before I set up to film because I would like to stay on theme with what we got going on here. And so I'm really excited to try that. This YouTube video making thing is something that was very scary for a while because I have a belief that there is like a generational wound, especially for the women in my bloodline, of around being seen and perceived. And so in my head, I was wanting to make videos and wanting to share my art and share my voice and share like my perspective of life with the world. But then I was imagining that what if this is the one video that goes viral and it gets on the wrong side of the internet, and then like the Christian nationalists are like at my house, like getting ready to burn me at the stake. A little ridiculous. A little ridiculous. I no longer believe that that will happen, but that did in fact hinder me from showing up in public spaces for years, actually. It's a learning process, and it took me years of making shitty TikToks and posting them and deleting them, and making shitty YouTube videos and posting them, and just like realizing that virality doesn't feel the way I thought it would, because I've had a few videos kind of pop off and it's never been my worst case scenario, doomsday situation like I was like anticipating. And then also it's kind of not as common for a video to do as well as I was expecting in my head. I'm like, the first cringe thing I post is gonna get 1 million views on TikTok. No, no, it's not quite like that, girlfriend. So that's been a fun lesson to learn. And I'm kind of at this point where it's like, I either need to do or die. I gotta figure out how to just do it scared, or figure out something else to do with my life and let this go away and like find a different dream, find a different goal to do and pursue that has nothing to do with the internet. The more I would think about it, the more I would come back to like, I think I would really regret not trying. If I try for a year and I do this consistently for a year, at least I can say I tried. And I can see where I go and see where I get. Even if it takes me 2 or 3 years before I'm like, I'm kind of ready to do something else, that's okay. Because I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. And I don't know what lessons I'm going to learn along the way. I mean, just my fingernail popping off has me like all philosophical and insightful about my relationship with work and myself and my life and what it means to like truly live a satisfying, fulfilling life. And God knows I'm going to overthink and try and put some kind of spiritual meaning on everything, because that's who I am. That's what I do. That's what I find joy in. So this was someone telling me to slow down and stop falling into the same loop that I've been looping in since 2018. Hey girl, things are not the same as they were back then. You can do things differently now. And I think I finally realized that. So yeah, this is where I am this. Thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all the things, comment, let me know what you like the most. This box is available for purchase if you'd like it. I have another box video coming out next week, and I'm really hoping that I will be able to find it within myself to continue painting and release more videos like this. Let me know if you liked painting instead of jewelry. I will still continue to do jewelry content, do not worry, but sprinkle in a few other projects and crafts. Like, I have some videos planned that are involving knitting, and I'm really excited for that kind of vloggy style video to come out whenever I end up getting that project done. It might be another year, who knows. But It's fun. I'm a jack of all trades. I'm not going to put myself in a corner and force myself to do jewelry when it doesn't feel good or when I physically can't, but I have a raging river of creativity at my fingertips. And sometimes if I don't like expel some of that creative energy, I go a little cuckoo bananas. So having the ability to paint while nursing an injury and like healing up, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for the 20 something years of neural pathways that have been developed in creating the skills that I have to be able to paint very well while only being able to use 4 of my fingers. That was something that I experienced with all of this. It's like, wow. I used to think like if something happened to my hands, I would be screwed because this is how I make my livelihood. And like, sure, obviously, if I have no hands, things would be different. And I'm not saying that I want to lose a finger, but if I had to lose like even this much of a finger, I could actually still get a lot done. I would actually still be okay. Even on my dominant hand, like it would actually end up being okay. And like just kind of recognizing that like, okay, I don't have to freak out about this. I'm good. The brain is very resilient, the body's really very resilient, and we have years of skills built up already that will help us to navigate anything that comes up. And I think that you could apply that to your entire life. Really, just think about what you're good at and know that if something happens, like if that worst case scenario does happen, like it's probably not going to be as bad as you think. So anyway, now I'm done yapping for real. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Farewell.